Hello again, wrestling community, and welcome to another edition of Wrestle Talk Show. I'm your host, Joshua Zimmerman, here to bring you tonight's news in the world of professional wrestling since yesterday's review of the TNA, poor TNA Genesis pay-per-view. Real quick, we're going to give you a real quick outlook on our demographic. We have 2,824 total views of all of our videos posted. Our highest demographic comes from 35 to 44 male and female viewers who make up 45% of the audience as of tonight, as these statistics are updated every 24 hours. Overall, the male demographic makes up 89% of the audience, and again, that's just as of tonight, and 11% for the female demographic. So we want to say thank you to those viewers and welcome you to the show and remind you that you can visit WrestleTalkShow.webs.com and click support the show. You can donate as little or as much as you'd like. We'd like to enhance production and how we do the videos and maybe get onto a bigger platform, as YouTube direct uploading is allowed to be longer than 15 minutes, but direct from webcam for right now, as far as I know, unless someone can send me an email, limits me to 15-minute videos, which the TNA review wouldn't have been a two-parter. We could have gotten everything into one had we had, say, 30 minutes to an hour to do it. And I'm totally up for doing a web hosting kind of thing, but since I do the show independently, I would have to research web hosting fees, and we would have to get supporters and or sponsors for the show. And like I said, with that, we would increase the quality of the show for you. We know you enjoy it now, but we'd like to make it better. So visit the site and interact with us. As you seen last night, we interacted with one of our commenters and viewers and made them a part of the show, and we can do that each and every night if you send emails show related to cwecompany@gmail.com. Friend us both on Facebook and Twitter, both at CWE Company. Moving on to your wrestling ratings. Ratings came in for the January 7th WWE SmackDown, and it achieved the highest rating since debuting on Sci-Fi of a 2.0 rating. And that's pretty good, and we hope that since it looks like they're changing, well, the show's been mediocre at best, but there was a lot of good that came out of last Friday's show. So let's hope that they continue that trend. In your wrestling news, WWE formally announces that Edge will defend the World Heavyweight title against Dolph Ziggler at the Royal Rumble pay-per-view. Former WWE wrestler Shad Gaspard commented on why he was released by the company. Quote, "They sent him to Florida and put him through trials and tribulations to see if he could pass the test. He tried to make friends and connections within the promotion. Some thought he had the build and character to be a champion, while others did not, as you'll get in any profession that you're in." And he more or less says that his release came as a result of the people that didn't want him to succeed got their way, and those with pull finally got him released from the company, as they didn't find him relevant. More or less indicated that he didn't have a following that every wrestler needs. Commented that he has no interest in MMA despite the rumors. In your MMA news, real quick, Dana White and Company announced that they plan 2 annual shows in New York once MMA fighting is regulated in New York. one to be at the well-known and very popular for its wrestling history Madison Square Garden. As we said, regulation is pending for this state, so that has to clear before MMA can do anything in New York. WWE issues a press release announcing that Shawn Michaels will be formally inducted into the 2011 Hall of Fame the night before WrestleMania 27 on April 2nd, 2011 in Atlanta, Georgia. Chris Jericho resurfaces tonight as he performs with his band Fozzy in the Los Angeles area. John Cena officially back on tour with World Wrestling Entertainment. He performed following his injury on 12/28 in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. What only fans who attended Monday night's show would have known was he worked a dark match before the Raw TV taping. Or I take that back. This was a taping, so who knows when it happened. It happened Monday, but it didn't happen at 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central. Or, you know what I mean on that one. I get the Central Time thing screwed up because I'm an Eastern kind of guy. This weekend, he's set to work house shows in both Texas and Tennessee, where he's scheduled in a three-way dance for the WWE title versus The Miz and CM Punk for these house shows over the weekend. There wasn't a lot of news, but there was a big announcement made, and it'll move into our segment. The TNA announces that it's considering getting rid of the X Division. Isn't it funny how everything comes full circle, guys? The X Division, for you TNA followers that are frustrated with what it's turned into, you'll remember that the X Division made TNA what it was. The high-flying action, a different pace than from WWE. Everything was faster, yet you still had story build-up, and it was just overall great wrestling. Now, they're considering axing the X Division altogether. I would say fight for it if, again, and I hate to keep echoing in these videos, but I'm going to make a bold assumption here and say that this is an Eric Bischoff, Vince Russo move, as Dixie Carter has to know this is what made the promotion years ago. People wanted to see this. The six-sided ring, again, the high-flying, the X Division title meant something. The wrestlers in those matches meant something. And now the promotion itself, as well as the X Division and every other division in TNA, really, week to week, it's something different. They have no consistency. So at this point, it's kind of meaningless to announce that you're going to axe the X Division as you did that a long time ago by not taking it seriously anymore. So I don't understand what the weight is. I would counter myself and say that if they step back, and again, this is real simple, look at what made your promotion popular and see that the X Division and homegrown talent and high-flying and unpredictability compared to WWE at the time is what made this promotion so popular, and you start pushing your own people and not worry so much about your six-figure talent and competing with WWE, because, as I've said in other videos, TNA can be successful if pushed in the right direction, remanaged, like a new management team altogether. Dixie Carter can still be in it because like I said, like I put in my Dixie Carter Get a Clue video, which is on here, and in the blog that I wrote on it, she needs smart people around her, as every good promoter would have. The promoter him or herself doesn't always execute everything within the promotion. But if Dixie's got two or more people telling her that this really doesn't matter, then she has no reason to keep it. But I think they can take an angle where they go back, they start pushing their own talent, start writing stories that mean something, and build up to when you have a pay-per-view like Genesis, where you spent, that was my whole argument last night with Genesis, you spent so much time hyping how the feuds would come to an end, or a resolution rather, and nothing really happened that they couldn't have given away on Impact. And that's basically what Genesis was. So in layman's terms, all Dixie has to do is not listen to whoever's telling her that the X Division doesn't matter, because the X Division was a great way, and the way at the time, to create TNA's talent. It wasn't formerly known as WWE talent. It was TNA originated talent. And that's what they need again. Along with, again, better storylines, a better storyline writer. Vince Russo, stop. Just put the pen down. Walk away before you make this worse. Right now, if things stay the way they are, my prediction is TNA, by the end of the year, if not earlier, will no longer be in existence, because no one will care. 1.1 is the average, like we discussed. 1.08 is the yearly average, where they did much better, slightly better the year before. And if you look back in recent years, other big moments that only included their own talent and not regurgitated talent from other promotion, from the big name, to say that they can compete. They can be successful and still be under WWE's radar. And they were. I don't understand why this is so difficult. But like I said, and to conclude the segment, if you're going to axe it, if you're not going to take it seriously, then axe it. Because doing it just insults what it used to mean. Because the fans remember what the X Division used to mean. And what the X Division matches and storylines used to produce that don't produce anymore. This should be an obvious hint. If you're considering getting rid of one of your staples of the promotion, you have a problem if it's no longer popular. Because again, this was the reason wrestling fans favored, some wrestling fans dare say, favored TNA over WWE years ago, because there was that difference. Now there isn't. It's just, let's see who we can hire and what we can do to take shots at WWE, and our stories don't make any sense, and we don't care about the guys in the back. Just give us our Jeff Hardys and our Hulk Hogans, because we still think that they'll produce ratings that they would produce for WWE. But you can insert anyone, and if the promotion isn't managed right, that star power isn't going to go real far. All this and more at WrestleTalkShow.webs.com. Subscribe at YouTube.com/CWE Company. Email CWECompany@gmail.com. Until next time, guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for the support. Support the show. Many thanks. Have a great night.